paint your design in a very controlled, neat way, put your chosen water-based fabric paint onto your palette. If your paint's thick, loosen very slightly with water. Carefully add the colours to your design, taking care not to go out of the sewing line. This could take several steps, as you may want one colour to dry before adding a second, and so on, or blending will occur. Carry on painting until your design is complete. As you can see, the colours are now starting to build up and you're gaining depth and definition of your design. If you want to blend your colours slightly, add a little more water to make your paint thinner. Only paint the sewing line when using neat paint because it acts slightly as a glue and it will make it harder to sew up at the end. Only add highlights lastly and when your pigments are completely dry, but never forget that your fabric is a colour too and can be used as part of the design. This makes for great highlights as well. Don't forget to include painting the ribbon at the side of the design, unless you want to use one of your own instead. Using a brush with a point gives you much more control. You can cover large areas and small, so a round brush with a point is always best. Don't worry, if you go outside the edge of the ribbon, it gets cut off anyway. Keep overworking with colour until you have the depth that looks the best for you. If you're wanting to add any embroidery or embellishments, now is the time. Don't put anything too bulky near the edge if you're using a sewing machine or it'll catch on the foot. Now cut out all the elements along the outside cutting line. Be as accurate as you can, but remember these will be trimmed up again later. Take a few strands of fabric off either side of the ribbon. Now with your fairy, place front and back together with the ribbon between, right sides facing out. Use pins to hold it in place or tacking stitches. Follow the same format with the wings. So we've now sewn around the edge of the fabric on the sewing line with a contrasting thread colour. We like to go around 2 or 3 times just to give a solid finish and actually a really nice effect. We leave a gap on one end to fill with plastic pellets, lavender, something else lovely smelling, or you could use rice or lentils. Just work the pellets down the design. If you find you've overfilled it, just take a few out. Wants to be about 2/3 full. So pin the beads back before sewing up the gap. Fray the edges with a pointed tool and trim off all the excess threads. Just gently pull the fibres out, right up to the sewing line. When you get to a corner, you may have to just snip the fabric with a pair of scissors. Then work your way around the back as well. Then just trim off the excess long threads to neaten up. And the last thing left to do is to attach the wings to the back of your fairy. Just take care to get them central. Fasten it off with a knot so that it's all secure.